Author Terry McMillan filled a void felt by many African-American women today by creating stories that dealt with them, raising children, caring for parents, trying to find the right man. Both the book and film versions of Waiting to Exhale took this country by storm and identified an untapped audience hungry for representation. Here is a clip. Terry McMillan's latest book is called How Stella Got Her Groove Back. This time she explores what happens when a woman actually finds love, although with a man half her age. I'm pleased at long last to have Terry McMillan on this broadcast. Welcome back. Welcome here. You haven't been here, so
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, really.
I am too. This is a lot autobiographical.
Yeah. Semi-autobiographical.
Tell your own stories are the best stories to tell.
But particularly when you embellish them. I'm serious.
I'm sure you are.
I mean, really, you know. I mean, I can't just put all my business in a book.
Yeah, why not?
Some of it. Because some of it I have to keep to myself.
Because it's precious, private?
Yeah. I mean, everybody sort of knows it now. You know, I mean, Jonathan's picture has been everywhere.
Including Time magazine.
Yeah. I mean, we're not hiding each other. I'm not hiding him. He's not a souvenir, as Time magazine says.
I met him. He's a nice man.
Yeah, I mean, he's a wonderful man, and he's young, but he's smart, and he knows what he's doing.
Stella, how Stella got her groove back.
Stella.
Tell me the story of Stella, and then we'll talk about you.
Well, Stella is a woman who is 42 years old. She's divorced 3 years. She's a securities analyst for, well, she's a securities analyst. And she has an 11-year-old son. And basically sort of overdoes it. She does everything, like a lot of women. She's got it all
going for it except.
Well, I mean, I don't think she's really complaining that much when the book opens about not having a man. She's just sort of like on overload, and she just decides to take a spur-of-the-moment vacation to Jamaica to sort of like recharge her batteries and figure out how to slow the pace of her life down. And when she goes to Jamaica, she meets unexpectedly, because she doesn't go there looking for love or sex or any of that. She just wants to go chill out and slow down. And she ends up meeting Winston Shakespeare, who is a 20/21-year-old Jamaican man, young man. And she just thinks it's just going to be something casual. She doesn't even take him seriously, and then it turns into something else. But the story sort of evolves out of that. But the bottom line for me was it was about how you deal with loss. Because when she gets home, she loses her job, but she sort of didn't like her job anyway. She was sort of tired of it. And she was, what was she? She makes things, you know, objects of art of some kind, furniture. She redoes, you know, one of those kind of people. And anyway, you know, that's what she enjoyed doing. And basically, she ends up having to sort of question her own sense of right and wrong, how to do things for herself that make her feel good without feeling guilty. Yeah. She has to question even this young man's age. You know, like, is that really going to be detrimental?
And she finally has to come to the conclusion that she can enjoy it without some sense of saying this has to be permanent forever and ever and ever and ever, and figure out all these things about children and everything else. She can just say,
right now, this is working.
And it works, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to let anybody's sort of prejudice against it destroy the satisfaction for me.
Yes.
And how does this mirror what happened to you?
Well, it's sort of, I mean, the bottom line is that when I got back from Jamaica, you know, I wasn't really sure what had happened to me. And it took a while for me to really catch on. And I started questioning a lot of this stuff, and it ended up taking this form. I started thinking, gee whiz, I really like this young man, but, you know, and I was like, oh, no, I can't, you know, Terry, no way. You know, but I had recently lost my mother and my best girlfriend, and I started reassessing it all, and I just said, you know, why not? What is wrong with this? You know, this young man makes me feel really good. I feel like I've come back to life, to be honest with you, and what's wrong with this? Why shouldn't I? Why should I feel guilty about doing this? And then I started thinking, too, men have been doing this for years, really. Still are, always will be, marrying girls young enough to be their daughters, Some of them have children older than their wives, you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm not breaking any rules. I'm not hurting anybody. And so I had to give myself permission.
How's it working?
Pretty good so far. We're moving into a year, so I'm, you know, it's working out fine as far as I know.
What is it about your stories that resonate with so many women? What is truths are you telling? What stories are you telling that people say, yeah?
I just think that my stories are realistic, that these are stories that are plausible. They could happen to real people. And they're contemporary, sort of up to the minute. The details in the story from the music.
Not growing up as a child in rural
You know,
South.
but yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my voice, it's not my turf. I'm just really interested in how people treat each other and how, you know, our internal clocks sort of decide what happens to us externally. You know what I mean? You know, how we deal with ourselves from the inside out and how we interact with each other. And I'm really particularly interested, not just in men and women, that seems to be what I've dealt with in the past couple of books, but I'm also interested in parents and children and just relationships between people where there's this yin and this yang and stuff going on, where people don't cooperate or they misunderstand each other or mistreat each other.
Do you think black men, African-American men, don't understand what you're about, or they do and just don't like it, or just a few have given voice and it seems larger than...
I think it's a few that have given voice, and it is much larger, because there are a lot of younger men who read my books who aren't offended, who don't feel as if I'm male bashing. I think
are you male bashing at all?
No. No. You know, men need to learn to grow up and accept criticism.
There's nothing new about that, is there?
I know, you know, but I mean, you criticize them and you're male bashing. I mean, come on. I mean, I chose 5 guys, or 4 or 5 guys. That's
but not all men are bad.
No, but have you heard me say that?
No, I haven't.
Did I say it in my book?
No.
No, no, no. And I don't feel that way. I deliberately chose 4 or 5, I don't know how many it was, guys that were sort of not, I don't even want to use the word dogs. They just aren't the kind of men that you would want to bring home to your mama.
Well, that's mainly because they liked a lot of women primarily and had other things that they were interested in less than the woman, yes?
No. I mean, my attitude was turn it around. Why did these women find these men so appealing and attractive? Well, that was the point.
I know.
Because they didn't value and cherish themselves enough. I mean, if you fall in love with somebody else's husband, I mean, what does that say about you? How much power do you think you can get by pulling someone else's husband away from their wife? I mean, what does that make you? You know, trying to rehabilitate a crackhead. You know, there's not that much love in the world. I'm sorry. You know, there isn't. You know, and women are always trying to be the nurturers, the caretakers. That's what we are known for. And that's what I was more interested in trying to show, that it doesn't work. You know, and that we need to be a little bit more careful about who we choose as our partners.
And that's the message in Waiting to Exhale.
I would like to think so.
Yeah. And the message here is we got to look after ourselves and do what makes us happy.
Yes. And don't worry about 20 years from now.
Worry about next month and next week
I
and
think
tomorrow
so.
and tonight.
You know, it works. You know, live life like
How
AA.
are you handling, I mean, I would ask this of a man or a woman from anywhere, young and old. How are you handling all this success?
Well, my gold card gets up very high every month. And I can just pay it off. No. I don't take it all seriously, to be honest with you. I mean, like right now I'm reading the reviews. You know, I knew I was going to be reviewed in Time magazine and all that stuff. But, you know, I mean, it happened when the movie came out, happened with Waiting to Exhale. And now it's like you just cannot really buy into all the hype and the publicity. You sort of have to put it over there. Yeah. You know, because they are 2 separate issues. I'm over here, it's over there. And that's sort of what I do.
It's part of your success, in your judgment, the fact that you were the first person for many people to come along and speak in a voice that resonated. You were there the first time. When you captured your voice, which was you, it's somehow you were there, you were first, and you were doing it differently.
Really?
No, I'm asking, is that it? You know
I don't know, Charlie. This is news. I mean, people keep telling me this, you know.
I'm asking you, but you know better than anyone else.
I don't really feel like that. I just feel that I'm just one among many. You know, Alice Walker had a voice, Toni Morrison, Gloria Naylor. You know, there are quite a few writers. You know, John Weideman, Ishmael Reed, all of them have voices. But I just think that maybe I was just a new kid on the block, and I think timing and all of that had a lot to do with it.
Timing did.
I'm serious, and luck, and God, add them all up. Whoops, excuse me.
And some ability.
Well, yeah, a little ability there too.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I can tell a decent story. Yeah.
What pleases you most about the praise, and what offends you most about the criticism?
What pleases me about the praise is the fact that they say my work is conversational, that it's accessible, and basically, I think I like the conversational tone. You know, Ring Lardner was one of my biggest influences, I think, and I think that even though I use a lot of humor in my work, I think I really appreciate it when people take my stories seriously. I think the critics, what bothers me more about them is when they don't get the story they wanted, or when they compare you to yourself.
What do you mean, the story they want and compare?
Well, it's sort of like, I mean, I've been accused this time of writing a fairy tale because these characters sort of live happily ever after, that there's no real edge to this story. And like, what happened to the plot, you know? And I don't write plot-driven stories. None of them have been plot-driven. My stories are character-driven, and it's most of their battles are internal, not necessarily external. And I think also that people are more concerned, it seems to be to me, with you know, with how much money I'm getting for the books, you know, how big my house is, what kind of car I drive.
They write that about everybody.
No,
I mean,
they
come on.
don't.
Oh, they do. Everybody. Every article in People magazine covers those kinds of things.
Oh, I don't count People. Nothing
I mean, a lot of people write about that. I mean, what? What is it?
I shouldn't say I don't count them. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do. But I remember those stories about you and the cars in front of the big house in San Francisco and all that stuff. But they do that about other people. They always want to be posing in their swimming pool in front of their car. Somehow.
Not me.
They didn't want that about you?
No, I mean, I'm not posing in front of a stupid car.
No, I'm not about... But they do that. You're not unique in terms of the way celebrity gets treated in America. They're not picking on you, is my point.
Yeah, but my point is that I'm a writer. You know, talk about the work. Why do I write? How do I do it? You know, why do I do it? You know, what is the point? You know, what kind of house I live in and what kind of car I drive, what has that got to do with anything? All right, then
let's ask those questions of you, give you a chance to shoot.
Oh, I'm not trying to tell you how to interview me.
No, listen, I got a lot to learn. I'm trying hard as I can. but I'm enjoying it too. What's the point?
Well, the point is that I don't get it. I don't understand sometimes why we do what we do. Why I do what I do. Sometimes I don't understand what pisses me off, what excites me, what frustrates me, what hurts me, what hurts you, what hurts my mother, you know, my sisters, what pisses them off, you know, why can't she get a job? Why won't he finish college? Why is he shooting a needle in his arm? I want to know the answers to these questions.
So that's why you write about those subjects?
Yes.
And you find out that there are a lot of sisters and brothers out there who want to know the same, have the same questions and want to hear one person's answer.
Why is it so hard for us to love each other? Why is it so hard to us to be compassionate and empathetic towards someone other than ourselves? You know, what do we do when we don't get what we need? What if we don't even know what we need? That's what I'm interested in.
Do you know what you need?
I'm getting it.
And what is it?
Love! And right now I need some mouthwash. I've been drinking too much coffee.
And what about the next book?
The next book is A Day Late and a Dollar Short. It was a book I started.
This was connected to your mother, and your mother's death somehow made you pull away from it.
Yep, that's it. That's it. But now I'm a lot stronger, I think, emotionally and mentally. You know, I've sort of accepted my mom's death. It was a hard thing for me to accept, and I couldn't write it. But now I can.
You like and are influenced by people like Toni Morrison and Alice Walker and others who...
Well, I have a lot of respect for them.
Yeah.
A lot of respect, and admire their work a great deal. But I think as far as influence, I would just say that they probably helped pave the way to give me a sense of freedom to be able to write in my own voice the way that I do.
You have opened up the door so that other people are looking and they're finding things that may have been there, but because of you, you know, the people who are in the book business are looking for them, saying...
Well, there's another young, Christopher Farley, I think his name is, yeah. Young guy. He's got an incredible voice. His book, I think, comes out in August. There are a lot of young people out here. You're going to see. There are more of us.
Waiting to Exhale, you were happy with the movie and you wrote the screenplay.
Yeah, I liked the movie. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I wrote the screenplay with Ronald Bass. I didn't write it alone.
Yeah, but you came in.
Yeah. Yeah, but I couldn't have written it without Ron, I'll tell the truth. I mean, really, because he set it up.
Forrest did a good job?
I think Forrest did a great job directing it.
Terry McMillan, how Stella got her groove back. And we'll be right back. Stay with us.